Hashtag ThatPartTV. We delve into the topics others shy away from, discussing love, life, and street politics. Yeah, hashtag ThatPartTV. Welcome our celebrity host from That Part TV, Pearl J.
You are tuned into That Part TV. I'm your host, Pearl J. And we're talking about a number of factors of why parents abandon their children. That part. If the load is too much for you as a parent and you decide that, hey, you know what, I just want to bail out. This is just not something that I'm fit to do. Are you wrong? Sometimes it's just easier to say, I can't do it and I'm just not fit for it. That part. Unfortunately, the father or the spouse or the boyfriend that's in the home, becomes very, very possessive, starts using those children as weapons towards the mother, or the mother starts using the children as weapons towards the father. And let me help you identify with what I mean when I say as weapons. Every time there's some type of incident that occurs in violence, they use the kids as their tools. There's other instances where you have children that are dealing, with mental illnesses or disabilities, where the mother or the father just feels as though that it's just way too much for them, more than what they can mentally bear. And they just abandon ship. Sometimes, you're forced into becoming a parent when you don't want to be a parent. A lot of situations have happened to where they could not afford an abortion, or they just didn't know what to do when they became pregnant, or they were in a relationship with someone who made so many promises that they would be there and help support and take care of, and then the responsibility just became overwhelming for that parent and they could no longer take it. Primary causes for child abandonment can be because of drug addiction, financial crisis, mental abuse, spousal abuse. It can be from, all type of different aspects of life as to why a parent would feel pressured that they can no longer be fit to take care of their kids. That part. I have a story of a little 11-year-old girl that actually came home from school one day, and when she came home from school, there was a note on the door from the children's receiving home asking her to turn herself in to the children's receiving home, because if she did not, they were going to report her as a 601 runaway. The mother apparently had left town and left the kids with the babysitter, and the babysitter had no communication with the mother whatsoever and couldn't figure out what was going on. So the babysitter actually called Child Protective Services and said, hey, the mother left the kids with me and has not returned or contacted me in any type of way. So she was really left with no other choice except to contact the authorities to get some type of assistance, because of course she had a life she had to live as well. For the kids, it was really, really sad because they had no father that was around, and there was no other relatives that would be able to assist in taking care of any of them. So CPS had no choice except to place all the children into the children's receiving home until they can get placement for them. Of course, the children are devastated, lost, confused, emotionally in distress, and just feeling like they have nothing and nobody. And that's a really, really cold place to be in, that part. What do you think the mother should have done? What would you do in a situation where you were left with someone's kids and you were just there to babysit, but the parent never did come back? The parent never called you. That part. What would you do? Do you think the babysitter should feel bad because she had to call Child Protective Services because the mother never returned a call to her to let her know that either she was okay or not okay. The babysitter actually had no way of knowing whether the mother was actually in some type of danger or not, or even if she was being set up by being left with those kids the way that she was. That part. Maybe the babysitter should have also let the kids know, instead of them having to come home from school, finding a note on the door from CPS stating that they were considered now runaways if they don't turn themselves in. So I think on the babysitter's part, the kids should have never had to come home and find a note on the door. I think the babysitter should have took the initiative to let the kids know, look, your mom still hasn't contacted me. We have no idea where your mother is. That part. And we don't want to take the responsibility of continuing this business arrangement as a babysitter for you kids, because we have no idea where your mother is or where she could be, or even if she's alive. That part. So if you're listening right now or have a similar story like this that you can relate to, please leave a comment. Hit the like button. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Pearl J.
Yeah, that part.